What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today, you guys, with a brand new review for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. You guys, this is season 6. This is episode number 4, and the episode was titled Pretty Little Liars. Man, I missed that show so much. But before we go ahead and get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys are not yet subscribed, I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys can do me that routine by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and also by sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this episode of Salt Lake City. All right, so if you guys watch this episode, let me know in the comment section, like, what did you guys think about it? Did you guys enjoy the episode? For me, it was a good episode. There were some moments that I was like, yikes. And there's one moment in particular. So I don't necessarily know where I want to start up with when it comes to the ladies, but let me get my notes pulled up real quick. Because most of this episode, I'll save Lisa, unfortunately, I'll save Lisa for last. Actually, you know what? Let's get a kind of, it's not a positive, but it started good, but then it kind of ended weird. Mary. So let's talk about Mary. So we all know Mary has a church, right? So Mary's church has been under renovation for about 2 years at this point, right? And so we see Mary and her cousin. Now, I did find it kind of interesting that she did refer to this man as her cousin. Because y'all remember that woman that works for her, that's her cousin as well. But Mary did, the first time we met Charlinda, Mary didn't refer to Charlinda as her cousin. So this is her cousin that's doing renovations of the church. And I'm so confused why this man even took Mary to that church when there were things that weren't even completed on the church, because in one of the pews, Mary noticed it. She's like, it looked like that's a screw sticking out of the back of it. And he was like, you know what? That is. I was like, well, that's weird. But I guess he's going to get on it and, fix it. So then they sat down and they had a conversation. And, he asked Mary, how is Robert Jr. doing? And, she said that he's doing good. I did see that Mary was on Watch What Happens Live with Andy. Andy asked how Robert Jr. was doing, especially with the latest thing that's happened with Robert Jr. But she says that Robert Jr. is good, and she feels like some of this stuff was needed for him. And, I get where she's coming from, because sometimes people don't learn things until they're sometimes people don't learn things until you actually they have to face it on their own. So, I get where Mary's coming from. So I definitely get Mary. Oh, so moving on. Now, then Mary and her cousin had a conversation about her mother. Now, you guys remember season 1 of Salt Lake City. That was the thing. Mary, remember, she married Robert Sr., saying that that's what her grandmother wanted. But then, remember, I think her mom, well, I don't think, I know her mom did an interview with Up and Adam. I believe that was after season 1 had even aired. And so her mom did an interview with Up and Adam and let her mom say it. And I know other family members, because I remember that there was, I know some family members reached out to other people, right? And they were saying that what Mary and Robert were saying on the show wasn't true. And so then, like I said, Mary's mom, season 1, did do an interview. I didn't watch all that interview, but I watched some of it. And, I know her mom was saying how she misses Mary and how she wanted a relationship with Mary. But the thing is, I don't understand how you wanted a relationship with Mary, but you're on this, but she's on, and now she's on this show and you haven't reached out to her. And it doesn't seem as if the mom reached out to Mary, because unfortunately, Mary's mother has passed away. So Mary was talking about that, how, it does hurt but at the same time, it feels like a door has been closed. A door, a chapter in Mary's life has been closed, and I was like, wow. But I kind of understand where Mary's coming from, right? I really do get where Mary's coming from. But that's really it. When Mary, she started crying, but my heart goes out to Mary. My heart definitely goes out to Mary. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about Mary. Um, Good afternoon. Now I can't pronounce that, but good afternoon. So we can move on from Mary, and then let's see, where do we want to go next? Because Mary, I'm gonna save Angie and Lisa for last. You know what? Let's talk about Whitney, because Whitney didn't have a whole hell of a lot in this episode. So let's move on to Whitney, you guys. So Whitney, the first thing that we got with Whitney, we saw Whitney and she was with Justin, and they were. You remember season one when we met Whitney, she was having a party in her house, and she had the pole, right? So Whitney is breaking out the pole. So season one, Whitney, I guess, is trying to make a return, and so then we also see as Whitney and Brittany went shopping for plants. I was like, oh my God, why is like Brittany is so insufferable to me. I know people like Brittany. And what I will say is, yes, is Brittany comedic relief sometimes? Yes, at her own expense is the problem. Because Brittany is somebody that I don't know if she reads the room or not. Like, I don't get her. Like, I don't get her at all. And then the conversation with Brittany and Whitney. So Brittany at this point, Brittany feels bad after Lisa mentioned Whitney's businesses. And so now Whitney, not Whitney, but Brittany is quote unquote feeling bad. And so she wants to apologize to Whitney for that. And so Whitney and Brittany both apologize to each other. Brittany apologized for mentioning her business. Whitney apologized for "Do you suck dick" comment, right? So then, while they're talking, Brittany says to Whitney, and Whitney says to Brittany that they've never saw each other's homes. And so then Brittany brings up the fact that she's back with Jared. I was like, oh my God, Brittany. No one cares about you and Jared. Like, nobody gives a damn. I hate to tell you that. We don't care. So then she was talking about, her kids and his kids. And I'm like, Brittany, do you ever think about your kids at all? Like, this is no slight, no shade to you. Because then you're talking about how it seems like your daughter wants you to just basically be single away from Jared and put more focus and emphasis on her. Even though she is a woman, she still would like for you to show that you care about her. And Brittany is like, she doesn't know if she can do that. I was like, you don't know if you can prioritize your child over some dick. This ain't even your husband. Like, Jared is not your husband. And Whitney is trying to sit here and have this conversation with her about, like, girl, put your kids first. Do I think Brittany's gonna put her kids first? I don't. Like, Brittany is a pick me behind like Jared. Jared ain't even all that. But if Brittany likes it, then I love it for Brittany, which I honestly don't. But if that's what Brittany wants to do, Brittany gonna do what she wanna do. And that's all we gotta say on that one. But you guys can let me know if you have any thoughts and opinions when it comes to Brittany and this one. And it really honestly feels like a one-sided relationship with Jared. That's just my personal opinion. But again, you guys will tell me what you think. So then we can move on from Whitney and we can do Bronwyn. Now, Bronwyn, yikes, girl. Like I said last week, I really, truly, honestly feel and think you need to go to therapy because your relationship with your mother, it's unhealthy. And also, I feel like you need to establish boundaries when it comes to your mother, what she can say to you, how she can, like, at the end of and I hate saying this phrase, but honestly, at the end of the day, your mother is living in your home. Like, girl, what? Absolutely the hell not. Like, absolutely the hell not. So we see Gwen and her boyfriend. Now, the only thing I will say that I agree with her mama on is because I'm old school as well. I wouldn't, if I had kids, I would not move my kids' girlfriend, boyfriend into my house. But I also get what Bronwyn is saying. She doesn't want her for Gwen to sneak around her. And that's very understandable. Absolutely understandable. I get it. So then it goes downhill with her and her mom, right? Because they start talking about when Bronwyn got pregnant with Gwen. And, so her mom didn't celebrate her being pregnant, which here's the thing. I'm not going to say you should celebrate her being pregnant, even though and she was a teenager, not celebrate it, but girl, don't, it's going to have, the baby is going to come whether you like it or not. So not celebrate it, but embrace it at that point. So Brahma told a story about how her sisters were pregnant at the same time, and I think they were in baby gap, and so her mom was buying something for her sister's baby, right? And so the cashier was like, "Oh, your mom is buying something for your daughter," and so Brahma said, "No, she's talking about my sister." And so Brahma says, "But the cashier felt so bad. She's like, oh, I assumed that you were pregnant." And Brahma says, "Well, I am pregnant, but she's not buying anything for me, for my baby." And so Bronwyn then told her mom like how miserable her pregnancy was. And then her mama had the audacity to say, "Well, girl, it was miserable for me having to hide it." I was like, wow. Like, this is what you say to your child? That it was miserable for you to hide that she was pregnant? That that mama is a piece of work. That's all I gotta say is her mother is a piece of work. Because ma'am, what? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. And then it's almost as if her mama can't say anything positive about Bronwyn. And I was like, wow, Bronwyn, I really do feel bad for you. There is no way that that woman would be living in my house. I'm sorry. Absolutely no way she could be in my home. You're a better person than I am, Bronwyn. I will say that. So let's go ahead and move on to Meredith. So we see Meredith. So Meredith and Angie, they're working on a relationship with each other. It's not good. It's not bad. They're kind of in the middle when it comes to a situation. They're kind of in the middle with each other, right? So they're sitting down and having coffee. So Meredith is letting Angie know that with her business, she's trying to, she has her store in front, and then she wants to have like a caviar space in the back. So then they had a conversation. So Angie was telling Meredith about something that happened with Lisa, where Lisa sent one of her employees down to her salon to pick up um, Lisa's son's products, right? I'll explain more about that once we get to Lisa's scenes. So then Angie was telling, you know, Meredith that, you and I are in a good space right now. And, I don't want to harp on things that happened in the past, but I got to let you know something that happened. So when Meredith and Angie weren't in a good space with each other, when they were going back and forth with each other, Angie says that Lisa told her, "Yeah, how about you Google this person, Google that person, Google this person to basically keep Meredith off of your back." Basically, use it as ammunition. And I'm like, that absolutely 100% sounds like Lisa, because that's what Lisa does to you guys. And I'm going to bring it up in a minute once we get to Lisa's scenes. Like, girl, I do believe Angie K when she said it. I don't think she's lying, but you guys can tell me what you think and what you feel about the situation. If you think that Angie is telling the truth, or if you think that Angie is lying on Lisa. So speaking of Lisa, let's go ahead and get on over to the Wicked Witch of Salt Lake City. So the Wicked Witch of Salt Lake City, aka Lisa Barlow. And this episode, it opens up where we last left off with Whitney being pissed off at Lisa for mentioning her businesses. What I will say to you, Whitney, is you got, I mean, if you can give it, you got to be able to receive it, babe. So Bronwyn called Lisa out and said, like, that's what you always do. You attack people. And I agree with that. I can agree with that. So after that, she then came for Angie. So she told Angie, you only own one and a half salons and the rest are franchise. And Angie was like, I own, like the one that I'm talking about, I own them, own it, and the rest are franchises. So they were going back and forth about that. Now, what I will say, Angie was eating Lisa up because she said, she told her, you do French fries, I do franchise. I was like, come on, Angie K. So then Angie told her that, she invested in Jack's hair company, right? But Lisa doesn't market it. And she's out trying to get, work with other hairstylists. Now, you guys remember last season when they were talking about Britney's hair and the Kerastase, right? Well, Lisa got a partnership with them, right? Because she had a commercial with Kerastase and all that kind of stuff, which that is kind of weird to me because your son is, granted, it is men's grooming hair care products, but it is still like direct competition for you. But I mean, okay, girl, if you like it, I love it. So Angie was like, it's a C-line product that belongs in Walmart. I said, oh my God. So they going back and forth, right? And she was like, you're not even promoting it and all this stuff. I was like, okay. Angie, when I tell you guys, Angie K was eating her up. Angie was eating Lisa up. And Lisa was like, it's a luxury product. I was like, luxury according to whom? You? And so Lisa then says that, Angie is jealous and that she's been questioning everything about her. So then here comes Heather's ass kissing ass. But Heather, I'm glad that Heather did kind of say to Lisa and to Angie, y'all are both going low. But no, Lisa goes low and people just meet her where she is. So that's what Angie did. But you really need to be calling out Lisa. So Lisa then fake cried because they were telling her she's not vulnerable with them. And so she started fake crying, telling Angie she loves her, but there are things that hurts her when it comes to Angie. Angie apologizes to Lisa. Lisa didn't apologize to Angie. I caught that. So then she said something about Bronwyn. It's like, girl, I don't believe nothing that Lisa is selling. So then we see as Bronwyn and Lisa later on in the episode met up at Lisa's lounge that she says been open for a year. She's, they launched it last June. She's had stuff for Sundance there, and she's had, people there. Whatever, Lisa. So Lisa apologized to Bronwyn, but then she kind of threw it back in Bronwyn's face. But ultimately, they both apologized to each other. I don't know how sincere I believe Lisa is. I do believe Bronwyn is sincere, but I don't think Lisa had any sincerity when it came to that whole situation. But again, you guys tell me what you think and what you feel, and we can go ahead and move on, you guys. And I think we're going to get ready to wrap the episode. Yeah, we're going to wrap the episode up because Angie is the last person in my notes. So let's move on to Angie K. What I will say is, I know last season I wasn't like the biggest fan of Angie K, but so far in these first 4 episodes, Angie K is 100% winning me over. And here's why, because Angie K is giving it, she is showing why I think she's, I think Angie is a center snowflake holder, right? So Angie is at her salon. Now, mind you, she had to do her licenses and all that kind of stuff because she hadn't done hair in a while. So she had Heather down to the salon. She's doing Heather's hair. So she lets Heather know that after that whole thing that Lisa had, Lisa sent one of her assistants down there to get Jack's products, right? So they went down to get Jack's products, and Angie said, it's a little dusty. And so the girl left and said that Lisa Venmoed Angie, right? So after the girl left, Lisa texted her and said, I Venmoed you $600. And if you need help with some cleaners to, clean up the dust in your salon, I can help with that as well. I can help with that. So then Angie cleared the shit out of her because Angie said, girl, my salon isn't dusty, but your products were. And she said, but what you should have done is given that money to some of those people that say that you owe them. I said, come on, Angie K. Now that's how you clear a bitch. Like that is how you clear a bitch. When I tell you guys again, Angie K, I'm here for her. Last season wasn't, but this season, Angie K, I'm with you. I am with you. But yeah, you guys, so that is the episode. I think we discussed everything. So I talked about Lisa, we talked about Mary, Angie, Whitney, Bronwyn, and Meredith. So yeah, you guys, that is the episode. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, you guys. Turn on your post notifications, share the video, you guys. And until the next time, do me a solid favor. Stay safe out there, you guys. Please take care of yourselves. Wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.